Switzerland shouldn't be rich. In fact, Switzerland shouldn't even exist. Think about it. It's a landlocked rock in the middle of Europe with zero natural resources. No oil, no gold, no diamonds. It has no unifying language and borders that look like they were drawn by a toddler having a tantrum. For centuries, it was surrounded by the most aggressive empires in history, all of them wanting a piece. Yet today, this tiny mountain nation is the wealthiest safe house on the planet. This isn't just a story about chocolate and cuckoo clocks. This is a 700-year masterclass in how to turn having nothing into owning everything. It all started in 1291 with a secret meeting in a meadow called the Rutli. 3 men made a pact to protect each other. No beheadings, no kings, just a brotherhood of farmers. The world laughed until 1315. The elite Austrian army, covered in steel and riding war horses, marched in to crush these peasants. But the Swiss didn't play by the rules. They didn't meet them on an open field. They waited in the narrow passes of Moorgarten. They rolled giant rocks down the cliffs and charged with halberds. The slaughter was so brutal that knights were jumping into lakes just to drown rather than face the Swiss. Suddenly, the poor farmers were the most feared infantry in Europe. They realized their first big business: manpower. The Swiss became the ultimate export. They weren't fighting for land or religion. They were fighting for the highest bidder. If you wanted to win a war in the 15th century, you hired the Swiss. But in 1515, they hit a wall. The French crushed them at the Battle of Marignano. Instead of planning a 100-year revenge tour, the Swiss did something genius. They retired. They realized that being a warrior nation was bad for long-term growth. They pivoted to neutrality. But don't confuse neutrality with weakness. They stayed neutral so they could do business with everyone. By the 1800s, Europe was a mess. Empires were rising and falling every Tuesday. If you were a wealthy aristocrat in France or Germany, you were terrified of losing your head and your money. Switzerland saw an opportunity. In 1815, they got the world to officially recognize their neutrality. Then they added the secret sauce: banking secrecy. They made it a crime for a banker to tell anyone who owned an account. When World War I and World War II turned Europe into a slaughterhouse, Switzerland became the world's lifeboat. They took gold from the Germans, assets from the Allies, and savings from everyone in between. They literally carved massive nuclear-proof vaults into the Alps. Their mountains weren't barriers anymore. They were the walls of the world's largest safe. While the rest of the world was experimenting with kings, dictators, and messy bureaucracies, the Swiss built a direct democracy. In Switzerland, the people have the final say. If the government wants to spend too much money, the people can literally vote no. This created a level of political stability that is unheard of anywhere else. This stability is why the Swiss franc is the world's security blanket. When the US dollar or the euro starts shaking, everyone runs to the franc. It's not just currency, it's a global delete button on risk. Today, Switzerland doesn't just store money, they make things nobody else can. Because they had no resources, they had to focus on high-value skills. They don't make cheap plastic, they make $50,000 watches. They don't grow much food, they dominate the global pharmaceutical industry. They took their lack of space and turned it into an obsession with precision. Their trains are never late, their crime is non-existent, and their quality of life is the gold standard. They are the only country that won the game of empires by refusing to play. Switzerland is a landlocked rock that turned itself into a global powerhouse through 3 things: defiance, neutrality, and trust. They provide the 2 things the world's elite crave most: peace and silence. In a world that is constantly on fire, Switzerland is the fireproof room. They aren't rich by accident. They are rich because they realize that in a world of chaos, the person who stays quiet and keeps the keys to the vault wins.